Frederick was good. He was so calm. Technically, he's not far off the perfect. When we touch the ball, when he make a strong pass, he read he read he read the game. But he need to improve because we took a goal and maybe he can make something different. So I think, like I said, for our player and him, we need to improve every day. So now I think I'm. My assistant told me that I made an assist pass for Fredericks because he played very well. So this is just one game and a big game, but we need and he need to improve and continue to work hard.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the 2025 Unity Cup champion. Great performance from the boys, even though you still argue, I might argue that we still have a lot of improvements to be done, especially when it comes to defending. And yes, that's like the only minus in this game. Our defending is still still a shambolic, display. We saw that from Ghana. We thought it was going to be improved this time around, and it kind of felt like this time is even worse because we considered two goals, all from the same right hand flank. The Jamaican winger speeding past Ismail Sadiq to bring in that cross. Ismail Sadiq should be doing better in this kind of situation. We know his quality, we know he's good, we know he can go forward, especially to assist the attackers, but I still think that he needs to improve his game, especially in terms of defending ability, because those goals were his fault from his wing. But it wasn't just only him that I'm singling out for blame. I also think the two CBs were not reading the game. They were kind of confused, in terms of positioning. Because when those crosses came in through Sadiq Ismail, we were supposed to have at least one CB in front of that line to break that cross. But it was just open, flat out open. Every time the cross came in, you can't even find anybody. Not Ogu, not Frederick. They are in no man's land. And it would just be a tapping into the back of the net. So it was very terrible to see that our defense is still this bad, And I'm sure Coach Chelle is going to be biting his finger, trying to fix his defensive issue. It's going to give us a lot of problems if we don't fix it and go out in September to play South Africa, play the World Cup qualifying series. It's going to give us a lot of problem. So I mean, he should better fix it. Talking about individual performances, which is part of what I'm going to discuss here, ratings for each players. I think they were actually very, very good. They performed really well. Even the defense line individually, I think they performed, considerably well. Benjamin Frederick, for me, is actually the man of the match for tonight. He was so good. One-on-ones, nobody was able to dribble past him. That same guy that was troubling is my Benjamin Frederick had one-on-ones with him, and he wanted to do that same pattern and speed past him, but Frederick said no, I no go agree. He followed him and marked him and put the ball out in the corner. And to think that this guy is just 21 years old and is this organized, is this good, is this strong, he has this kind of pace, he has this coordination. His passing is also top notch. His understanding of the game, like when we are on the front foot and we are passing the ball, his passings are top notch. The way he positions himself when we have the ball is really good. I think the aspect that he, and not just he but also Ogu, should have worked better on, or needs to work better on, is how to communicate among themselves and read the line, know how to position themselves. So when these crosses beat the fullbacks, they are going to intersect it. That was the only problem I had. But again, kudos to Coach Chelle. We saw a number of guys make their debuts. Benjamin Franklin being one of them. Felix Agu as well, another player. Uche Crisantos being another player. So these guys really performed. My ratings for them is really good. Benjamin Franklin is the man of the match in my own world. Felix Agu had a very, very decent performance. We saw the potential in this man. He's very good at intersecting balls. He has pace. He's kind of small, so he knows how to mark you. Like when you try to push the ball and speed pass him, he knows how to enter in front of you and make you to commit foul. We saw that a lot of times, just like how Cucurella plays for Chelsea. So this guy is definitely someone who has potential for improvement, and he has a lot of potential for to be included in the squad. Sometimes he also overlaps, and we saw how he brought in some crosses, which is obviously one of his strengths. He knows how to create assists. Like in the previous season in Werder Bremen, he provided I think up to 6-7 assists, scored 2 goals. So going forward is no problem. And then defending, he did some really reasonable defending. Going forward, Uche Santos had a decent game. I thought he had a decent game. Came in second half, and then um, for that very few minutes, we saw some kind of runs that he did, to push forward the attack, just like Jude Bellingham kind of run. He was in the midst of Jamaican players and muscled his way through, and then pushed the ball to Tolu. A couple of times we saw that happen, and then at the end of the day, he capped his decent performance with that final penalty goal, which saw us lift the trophy. So all of the guys that had their debut, I think these guys really perform, and they show that Chelle can trust in them, for future games. But they also need improvement. And then we'll talk about Siudesa. Siudesa has been fantastic. The last match against Ghana, he scored a goal. This time around, he created an assist. But one thing that we also saw today is that Siudesa can not only play as a front nine. We saw that properly in the second half when Tolu Arokodare came in. So Desas dropped a little deep, and then Tolu was the striker, and he was very good in linking up plays a lot. He linked one ball to Tolu, but Tolu skied that one. And when you look at this ability, you see why it makes sense if Cyril Desas and Victor Osimhen are paired in the same match. I think it's going to be a fantastic partnership, because Cyril Desas can play deep, play as an SS supporting striker, and then do that link up with Victor Osimhen. I think we are going to have a really, really perfect 9. Who else? Ndidi had a decent game. Frank Onyeka had an average game, and then Moses Simon, I think he also had a decent game. Forget the fact he scored the goal. A lot of times in that left flank, he missed his dribbles. He was just literally, driving the ball into the opponent's body and missing it. His dribbles were not on point. A lot of times he missed his dribbles. It shows us that this man is getting old. He was the oldest, man on the pitch. I think there should be room for a younger winger to be discovered and then come in, because maybe Simon doesn't have a lot of years to play, but he still showed his quality as an experienced player. And then we saw Samuel Chukwueze. For me, I think he's like the second best player on the pitch for Nigeria. Samuel Chukwueze showed us why he's still very important for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. In this match, he kind of took up that Kopama role, that kind of freedom that we see Kopama take up, for Chelsea. Samuel Chukwueze was everywhere. He was in the middle of the park, he was in the right flank, he was in the left flank, he was virtually everywhere. He was the one that was, being very creative with passes. He was the one that was pushing the ball, playing that sort of Kopama role in the Chelsea setup. I was really impressed by Samuel Chukwueze. He was the man that, arguably allowed us to really flow into the final third of the Jamaican side. And credit to him, he scored a goal, and then I think he had an impact in the first goal. So those are basically my feelings for this game. Stanley Nwabali, I don't think he was at his best, tonight. And again, a lot of people ask the question. I thought this guy Okoye was going to be played. I mean, Stanley played the Ghana game. Why didn't Okoye play this one? I'm thinking the reason why Coach Eric Shaw decided to go with Stanley Nwabali again is that Stanley is very likely not going to be available for the Russia game on the 6th of June, because he will be leaving camp to go, bury his parents. I think it's been fixed on the 6th and 7th. So that's going to give Maduka Okoye the opportunity to be in the post against Russia. But these are my opinions, concerning these players and how they performed. Let me know what you think about their performances and who you think impressed you the most on this night. But at the end of the day, the players, the coach, everybody will need to regroup again and try to improve on the way on the areas that they are lacking. Specifically, the defensive area. We cannot be conceding goals. I can't remember the last time we kept a clean sheet in this team. It's been a really long time. Keeping clean sheet is very vital. It's really very vital, especially when you're not scoring a lot of goals. If you score one or two goals, you should be able to keep a clean sheet for you to win a game. But if you don't know how to keep clean sheet, then even 1-0 will not be enough for you to win game. Even 2-0, because you will always concede goals, and at the end of the day, you either get a draw or you lose. So lots of work for Coach Eric Shell to sort out the defensive area.